The Wild West is back, with power shifting and rising star emerging. The Western Conference is anyone's game. 4 teams are gearing up to claim supremacy, but who will stand tall come playoff time? First off, let's dive into a team that made a blockbuster move of this offseason. After acquiring Klay Thompson, Dallas Mavericks now featured a lineup with Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, Klay, PJ Washington, and Daniel Gafford. The key difference is this lineup is Klay replacing Derrick Jones Jr. Is this new Maverick team better? Offensively, the answer seems to be a resounding yes. As one of the greatest shooters in the league, Klay's presence beyond the arc remains a consistent threat. Despite some struggles in certain games last season, he still shot 38.7% from beyond the arc, averaging 3.5 made threes per game. His elite catch-and-shoot ability significantly boosts the Mavericks' offense. Klay isn't just a spot-up shooter. His consistent off-ball movement, much like Stephen Curry's, requires a lot of defensive attention and creates space for Luka and Kyrie to operate. This could alleviate the double teams that Luka and Kyrie often faced during the finals against Boston. However, some fans are worried about the Mavericks' defense with this lineup. Derrick Jones Jr. used to be their top rim defender, guarding players like Paul George, Anthony Edwards, and SGA. Obviously, assigning this defensive duty to Klay isn't ideal, so what can the Mavs do? One potential solution is for PJ Washington to take on the opponent's best wing attacker in the starting lineup, leaving Klay to play the power forward position. While it may sound unconventional, Klay has the strength to hold his own in the low post, but he lacks of the lateral speed to guard quick wing players. With this setup, the Mavericks may lose some defensive rebounds, so the whole team need to work together to avoid that happening. Let's explore this against their Western Conference final opponent, the Minnesota Timberwolves. After PJ pick up Anthony Edwards, either Klay or Luka needs to guard Julius Randle. Luka would probably prefer the easier task of guarding Jaden McDaniels, so Klay versus Julius. Is that matchup as crazy as it sounds? Klay's strength can help him contend with Julius in the post, and with this setup, the Wolves might face serious spacing issues on offense. With Jaden on Luka and Ant on Kyrie, Dante DiVincenzo would be a good choice to stay with Klay since they are both elite shooters, and Julius can match up with PJ. But without Mike Conley, can Ant effectively organize the team's offense? The key question is, can the Mavericks' new lineup hold up defensively against top Western teams? Now we have a young and hungry team with even higher expectations this season, the OKC. After a successful season last year, the Thunder exposed some weaknesses, which wasn't a bad thing. Both the players and the management saw that and made strategic moves this offseason. They traded Josh Giddey away for Alex Caruso, patching the shooting weakness beyond the arc in the backcourt. Another glaring issue was their lack of traditional center. Chet Holmgren's first year was promising, but in certain situations, he couldn't handle consistent rim attacks from opponents. In the Western Conference, several teams have centers with size and strength beyond Chet's current ability. They addressed this by signing Isaiah Hartenstein to fill that hole. The Thunder are still the youngest team in the league next season, which means everyone, including SGA, still have room to grow. After filling those two weaknesses and with this spirit and youngs, they could be at the top after regular season. But can these changes propel the Thunder to Western Conference supremacy? Based on the preseason game on October 9th, the starting lineup was Alex Caruso, Jalen Williams, SGA, Luka Dort, and Chet Holmgren. It's reasonable to expect both this lineup and one featured Isaiah could be their starting lineup. Depending on their opponent's center, Isaiah would be valuable in the starting lineup when facing teams like Denver, the Lakers, the Kings, or even the Wolves. With Isaiah and Chet both on the court, their defense would be formidable. Isaiah can defend opponent's center, while Chet can roam and help. Offensively, Isaiah has a unique floater at the free throw line after pick and rolls and can find teammates from the high post. Chet, on the other hand, needs to be consistent. Considering it's his second season, his future is bright. With Luguentz and Alex locking down the backcourt, any team wanting to score easily against the Thunder will have a tough task. While last year's experience, the Thunder may not let Chet face the Mavs attack alone anymore. Suppose PJ Washington needs to play against Chet, then considering Clay isn't an ideal defender on SGA, then would Najee Marshall be better suited for that matchup? Probably not. One potential solution is to put PJ on SGA and let Maxi Kleber play against Chet while Isaiah is on the court. However, the Thunder have a lot of resources for this matchup. They have Alex and Luguentz to guard Kyrie and Luka, with SGA staying with Clay. This leaves the Mavericks with no easy matchups to exploit. Could the Thunder's young and defensive versatility overcome the Mavericks' offensive firepower? Moving on, the Minnesota Timberwolves were another team that surprised everyone last season. As a defensive team, their performance often hinged on refereeing standards, specifically the level of body contact referees are low. If officials continue to permit more physical plays, the Wolves will remain as competitive as before. Regarding the trade of sending Cat away for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, it's probably a win-win for both teams. We already talked about what Cat means for the Knicks. For the Wolves, their salary cap was already exposed. That's why they lose Kyle Anderson. They're also facing contract issues with Naz Reid, who might opt out for a larger contract next year. Cat is undoubtedly one of the greatest big-man three-point shooters, but he's set to earn almost $50 million next season. With this trade, the Wolves has more flexibility with their roster cap next season. Dante DiVincenzo's addition provides valuable shooting and defense. However, the real concern is Julius Randle. His playoff experience hasn't been great, only playing twice with the Knicks throughout his career. A new environment might help, but at 30, we cannot expect him to dramatically change his style. One of the biggest problems might be spacing, especially if he plays with Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels. That means there are three players who aren't significantly threat from beyond the arc. Anthony Edwards may find it challenging to attack the rim with this roster, which means the Wolves may need to sacrifice defense for better offense in certain games, such as replacing Rudy with Naz or put Dante on the court instead of Jaden. Defensively, Julius may not as efficient as Cat in certain matchups. Is this new roster configuration enough to make a deep playoff run? If the Wolves face the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs next year, the outcomes might differ from previous encounters. Rudy Gobert has struggled to guard Nikola Jokic effectively. Without Cat, Naz Reid may need to start instead of Julius to improve spacing and offensive options. Jaden McDaniels remains the best defender on Jamal Murray, and Mike Conley might have a relatively easy task guarding Christian Brown, leaving Michael Porter Jr. for Anthony Edwards to handle. The minutes played by Dante and Julius could be crucial for the Wolves to gain an advantage. Can the Wolves adjust their lineup effectively to challenge the Nuggets? Finally, we have the Denver Nuggets. No matter how Jamal Murray might have struggled from the playoffs to the Olympic game, as long as Nikola Jokic is there, they are a team no one wants to underestimate. After losing KCP, the preseason saw Christian Brown stepping into the starting lineup. Previously, KCP's job was to defend the opponent's top backcourt attacker, pure 3D player. Can Christian Brown replace that role? Perhaps not entirely, but he's younger, has more energy, and his off-ball movement while attacking the rim is solid. Considering this will be only his third season, he still has plenty of room to grow. Denver's bench has changed significantly, with Russell Westbrook and Darius Saric joining the team. Those non-Jokic minutes might not be as challenging as before, especially during the regular season. While playing with bench players, Russell will be the primary ball handler. However, spacing might be a problem during the playoffs. Let's hope the three-pointer become a regular weapon for Jokic. With these changes, can the Nuggets maintain their dominance in the West against the Thunder? The Nuggets might face new challenges. With Isaiah and Chet, the Thunder can replicate the Wolves' strategy of strong interior defense like last season, but who will limit SGA? Denver may like a defender like Jaden McDaniels to contain him. If SGA becomes too comfortable offensively, it could spell trouble for Denver. The Nuggets will need strategic adjustment to handle the Thunder's youthful energy and defensive schemes. Will Nikola Jokic's brilliance be enough to overcome these obstacles? In any case, the games among these 4 teams will be thrilling to watch. The Western Conference is shaping up to be a battleground of contrasting styles and strategic maneuvers. Which team will emerge as the dominant force in the West? One thing for sure, the upcoming season promises excitement, surprises, and intense competition. Stay tuned, as in the next video, we will explore these scenarios further. If you want to check out the analysis of Eastern Conference teams, click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.